Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Tonight, Aerith has dropped. We got her BTFR. She's got some nice upgrades. She's looking pretty dang good if I do say so myself. So in this video, we're going to do an updated character guide on her. She now has her Force Echo. She's got her BT. I think she's going to be a mainstay in your party for a very, very long time. I highly recommend you all get her. She's going to be a very good character. A lot of longevity out of these really good support characters. If you're not familiar, she is like a very straightforward support character. She does a lot of battery, a lot of healing. She can resurrect. She can prevent the enemies from buffing themselves. She can give your party 100% debuff evasion, which is very valuable. Now with her BT, she gets kind of like this Garnet-like follow-up to add extra damage to her kit. She's great, you guys. She's very good, has top-tier auras. She's looking really, really nice here. And the thing that's really impactful about her is going to be her Echo. And what I'm going to do in her guide is, this is unorthodox, but I'm not actually going to use her FR as the main FR for the character guide, because I want to show how effective she is as an Echo, okay? So we'll definitely see her force attack go off, and I'll talk about her FR conditions, but I think her value is more as the Echo character, and then we're going to pair her with Penelo Echo, and it's going to be nasty. It's going to be nasty with Penelo FR, I think. So let's go ahead. We're going to look at her artifacts, her spheres, and her calls. So we'll start with the calls, and I do think her calls are actually pretty good. There's definitely some use for this, right? So we have Prayer of the Cetra. What's unique about this can kind of be like a panic button call that you could put on a character. So for example, let's say you're running a tank like Zack, or a character that you know is very hard to kill. You could give them a call like this. So that way, if another party member somehow dies, you can pop this. This actually will resurrect a party member, which is really good. It'll resurrect and heal them. And then it also does attack, magic attack up, and brave regen up for the caller. And then the LD is called Seal Evil. The big thing with this is it puts a debuff on the enemies that makes it so the enemies can't buff themselves, which is very, very powerful. The only issue that this can have is there's some enemies that can't be debuffed and they work around it, but most enemies can be debuffed, and this is a very powerful thing to have. And somewhere else in Aerith's kit, you'll see that she gives the party 100% debuff evasion, so you pretty much take the enemy's buffing and debuffing like out of the game, which is really awesome. Can be very powerful in some fights. So yeah, I definitely think there are some use to her calls. So let's go ahead and look at Aerith herself, and let's start with the artifacts. Now, one thing to note with Aerith is she is a cursed arts character, but she is one of those characters where you do not actually want both of the cursed arts. So the cursed arts are Charged Healing, Wind Boost All, and Charged Prayer of the Cetra. Charged Prayer of the Cetra you don't want. It's doggy doo-doo. No. The reason why is it just gives you one skill use of Prayer of the Cetra. It's her least pressed button anyways, and in Modern Default you don't really run out of skills. So these cursed artifacts that only give you a skill use of something you typically don't use anymore. I think Vivi's fire is the same way. He has one that just gives him fire use +1. Who cares? You're not going to run out, right? But you do want the other one. So Charged Healing, Wind Boost All is party max brave up by 15%. So you're putting 3 of these on. You have 45% max brave up on the party, which is huge because she's a battery character. She's going to keep you capped. And because you have a higher max brave ceiling, you're going to be doing more HP damage. So that's very powerful, right? So the combo you actually want with her is, and this is going to be different than my last guide, because I think in my last guide I recommended iBrave because she gets a lot of battery, and she does a lot of battery. But what you're going to find is a lot of her kit, a lot of what she does actually scales off of attack. So I am recommending you go attack 108 and Charged Healing, Wind Boost All. So I actually got to farm up some more of these. I only have one of these. But attack is actually an important stat on her, which you wouldn't expect as a support character. But when a lot of your battery and stuff scales off of attack, it makes a big difference. So this is the optimal. This is what you want to go with right there. Then we're going to go ahead and look at her spheres here. So on the A slot, you really want to focus on attack. And even though Aerith has a very good magic attack up one, magic attack is actually not a good one to put on Aerith. And the reason why is her attack scaling is based off of normal attack, not magic attack. And she's not like a damage dealer. So like magic attack really doesn't make sense for her. The reason why we're giving her normal attack, it's not because of the damage dealing aspect of her kit. It's because a lot of her support stuff scales off of attack. So that's why you want it. So I think her best in slot is actually Noel, because Noel is an attack 15% up, which is pretty powerful, and it's a very easy trigger for her. There is also a King Sphere that's 20% attack, but it's not a reliable sphere that she can trigger because you have to break enemies, and she's not going to be breaking a lot. She does a lot of like battery type attacks. She doesn't do like a lot of brave hits really. She does here and there, but not like reliably. So I would say Noel, if you're going as high attack as possible, I would go with that. But otherwise, do like an attack max brave combo or an attack I brave combo. I think Sephiroth is pretty notable here because you just have to enter the last wave with max HP, right? Or at least HP, at least 50%, which you're always going to have. Now, I had somebody comment on one of my videos where I recommended Sephiroth, and they're like, no, don't put Sephiroth on because it doesn't work if there's only one wave. Well, that's not true. If there's only one wave in a fight, that one wave is considered the last wave. So if you enter a one-wave fight, which most of the game is, you just enter the fight and you get this. So it's actually a very easy trigger for most characters. A lot of the attack spheres are going to rely on you dealing crit hits or breaking and things like that, which I don't think Aerith is going to do as much of that as other characters. So I think having Sephiroth is really nice just because it's a nice, easy trigger for her. So I like Sephiroth there. On the C slot, I think this is probably one of the best spots in the game for Garnet because this is a selfish attack up for just the character, and it's very, very important on Aerith. Otherwise, you would go with like Maria, Lute, or Alphanod, which are your party attack ups. Those are going to be fine as well. But I think this is a nice spot for Garnet because in giving Aerith more attack, you're improving her party support anyway. So in a way, it is helping the party. And then the D slot, I think you have a lot of options for D slot. Just do any of the party attack up ones. I think Hope is really nice because it is an attack max brave up, so you're getting 2 really nice stats. And it's a very easy trigger for Aerith in that you just grant a buff. And as a support character, she's going to be doing that all day, granting buffs. So I do feel like, the ultimate combo would be Noel, Garnet, and Hope. Like, I feel like if I had Noel, that would be my A slot. In my C and Ds, I think those are best in slot, to be honest. That's what I'm really liking. But you could do, once again, as long as you're putting attack, you can't really go wrong. Just make sure that she can hit the trigger on it. You know, don't give her like a weakness damage one or something like that that she can't hit. All right, so with that, let's go ahead and we're going to hop into this showcase. Now, I'm going to operate her with Garnet and Penelo here. And I had to make sure, I actually had to take Penelo's newest costume off because that's what broke the game in my trade video. I didn't realize that that was apparently a known glitch that came with Kurosame that I did not realize. So, but yeah, now we're good. And I am running the Brother Summon to give us more Max Brave. So we're going to go crazy on Max Brave here. And we're going to see how Aerith is looking. So let's go ahead and hop in. Get this little fight started. So Penelo is a character I have 3 costumes for, or 2 extra costumes and then our normal one. Just because the third one was so good, I just couldn't not get it. All right, so let's do Garnet, typical start here. I'm going to be really mad if this costume also breaks it, but I'm pretty sure it's just her newest one that breaks it. And who knows, they just did an update, so I'm hoping they fix that glitch. So we'll see, I might test it out after. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to find out pretty quick if we break the game here, because we're about to use Penelo. Yeah, let's put the Raijin prod on as well. All right, and then let's go ahead. Sure, let's Garnet BT. And then Penelo will force charge a little bit. We'll maybe force charge a bunch and then end on her BT, and then we can force charge with Aerith a little bit too. But I do want to kind of do a few rounds. And like do some of her skills, right? Actually, what I should have done, well, we're pretty full on buffs. I wouldn't have had room for it. I was thinking about maybe giving her Luna Freya so we could just have a couple turns and try it out, but we'll just do this. Actually, you know what I could do? I might just do an Aerith BT phase because... Yeah, I might just do an Aerith BT phase, because that'll just make it easy, so I could just quickly go over her kit, like, uninterrupted. I think I might actually do that. So I am going to force charge quite a bit here, actually. Because then what I can do is I can just do an Aerith BT phase, and then come out and then just go FR, and then show you, like, some of the high-value stuff that Aerith can do, right? Sure. Alright, that's probably enough charging, because Aerith is also a force charger, which is one of her values. Okay. All right, so sure, let's go ahead. I guess we'll intercession because it's free. I know this is going to be overkill because these enemies are going to be melting pretty quick once we get FR and Echo stuff going. All right, and then we'll do the BT effects. I want Aerith looking really good. So let's go ahead and pop the BT effect. Please, fingers crossed, please don't break the game. Uh-oh, it kind of glitched. Did it actually break the game? Okay, no, it didn't. Okay, I see. I think we're good. It says burst turn 1, not turn 0, and I can see Penello's icon, so I think we're good. Oh, I got a little bit worried because it did kind of like freeze a little bit when I pressed it. Dude, Penello's too powerful. She just breaks the game. Okay. All right, so now we've got Aerith. So sure, I think what we'll do, so first I'll just show you Healing Wind because it is free instant turn. The other thing with Aerith is she does have high turn rate on like a lot of her skills. So you can press and hold even on Prayer of the Cetra. Yeah, actually Prayer of the Cetra is going to give her a free turn. So let's actually do that first. If we can do it without going burst phase, maybe we won't. So we'll just, sure, we'll hit Penello with it. Now this one's unique. You can see it is a force charging turn, but it's not guaranteed instant turn. It's just high turn rate. It just so happened that it worked out in that instance. So Prayer of the Cetra, what it does is it does revive the target. So if a target falls, it revives them, and it does heal as well. And then it batteries Aerith and the target, scaled on Eyebrave. And this is why I had Eyebrave on there before, but I think attack's going to be way better now. And then she gets a buff called Cetra's Favor and an attack up. So Cetra's Favor is a defense up, max brave up, magic attack up, and eye brave up. Not too shabby there. So this is a button you're not going to press that often. Honestly, I would only press it to basic if I need to revive, right? Or if you just want to upkeep that Cetra's Favor buff, because this is the only attack where you get it. So I would pretty much just use it to refresh the buff. Then let's go ahead and do Healing Wind. Okay. And then you see we get a lot of healing and a lot of battery, right? So it heals the party, and this scales off of her attack. And this batteries the party, and that scales off of her attack. So this is why I'm emphasizing attack, because this is a very common, easy access move that you can do that is heavily impacted by her attack. She does get a free turn. And then the party gets an Eye Brave up. So pretty basic, but you're mainly using that to force charge, right? So actually, I don't think I will go into her BT because we've only got 2 more moves to use, so I think we're okay. So we can do the AA. Okay, and this is going to be a party attack up, brave damage limit up, and then brave regen scaled off Eye Brave. So once again, we do see Eye Brave in there. Then we're going to do Seal Evil, the LD. Now, I like Seal Evil a lot. Very good attack. All right, what's the damage? Okay, dude, 1.8 and 1.6. That's pretty good damage for a support character. We'll just say that right now. So this is a big party battery scaled off of attack, right? And then an AoE attack, as you saw, ridiculously good damage. Because once again, we're not in a force time right now. That was heavy damage. Now she gets the Seal Evil buff, right? Now the Seal Evil is very, very impactful. This gives party debuff evasion 100%. So provided she has that on. Now I got to check her buff slots here. She does have it, and it's for 12 turns. So this is awesome because now we evade all debuffs, and then all enemies get an attack down, speed down, and defense down as an aura. So she's actually debuffing, and it's not eating up a debuff slot, which is really, really good. So yeah, Seal Evil, very, very good, very, very impactful there, right? Now, what happens with Seal Evil is anytime she attacks, she gets a follow-up. And so it's going to actually do a gravity, and the gravity scales off of her attack. Another party battery, which scales on attack. And then full HP damage to both enemies, extends her own buffs, and then it also puts a Planet's Abomination debuff down on the enemies, which is an HP damage taken up, and it prevents the enemies from buffing themselves. So, yeah, from the LD, basically, she gets follow-ups. Your party evades all debuffs, and the enemies can't buff themselves. That is insanely powerful and insanely unique. We haven't even gotten to her new BT effects yet, right? So Garnet, we are going to just do Aquamarine. And what we're going to do is we are going to hop into a Penello Force, and you are going to see how impactful Aerith is as an Echo, okay? So let's go ahead and pop Penello's Force. Do a little dance. Okay. All right, so Penello, we're just going to do our big HP plus attack here. Alright, and then we are going to Fatal Dance. Now, here's why her Echo is so impactful. It is an instant turn attack that doesn't do damage. So it's going to, one, you can spam it back to back. So you want to use it early, and it doesn't do damage to the enemies. So you just want to use it early, and it's going to do huge gains. This should have a base rate of 80%, not counting Penello's conditions. So when I press this button, we should get 80% plus whatever percent for meeting Penello's conditions. Let's see how much of an Echo we got here. This is going to be crazy. This as an Echo is so powerful, you guys. Watch the gain here. Dude, 153. So basically Aerith pops up and you get 300%. Look at how fast our gauge is up now. This is insane. So you just pop that sucker back to back and you're good, right? Dude, 150%. That is wild. Okay, so now let's talk about what her FR does, because we didn't use her as the main FR, so we do need to talk about that, right? So her main FR is called Flowers Floating in Another World. It does heal the party. It does party battery scaled off of attack again. Okay, during her own force time, party would have HP regen going. And then her conditions are to do a transformed HP or brave attack. That'll give you 40%, and that every character can hit easily. Then if you battery on turn, it's 20%, but it's 40% if Aerith does it. So this is a force time where Aerith is probably the one you'd want to guide it if you're using it, because then she gets 80% a turn, right? But I think Aerith has way more value, like I said, using somebody else's FR, and then doing that double Echo with her is kind of crazy, right? Now, we can hit up Aerith's BT. Let's check this out. This is going to be pretty spicy. So I haven't seen this yet. There should be seeing some pretty good damage here. We're at 500% already, by the way. Dropping a meteor down. Sure. Wow. Okay. So that was some, I'm pretty sure that was like 18 mil AoE. These enemies just got annihilated. And then Garnet's dropping her own bombs. All right, well, let's talk about the BT. There's a lot packed in here. You're going to notice that Aerith has an overhead, and it's doing a few things. It's basically storing a number. So you see like 3305. That's basically, it stores up, anytime we do HP healing, it stores it up to 200,000. And then the number one below it is another stack. Okay, so a couple of things going on. So let's talk about the BT. So it does a brave gain, does the big HP attack. It will revive and heal party. So it's like going to do a full everything. If anybody's dead, you can hit it as a panic button. Okay. Then she gets a buff called Prayer to Save the Planet. And that's going to have brave and HP resistance, which is really good. And then she gets her overhead. And then let me just see here. Yeah. And so this overhead is called White Materia's Brilliance. Okay. So after every party turn, it should gain a stack. So this kind of works like Garnet's, where Garnet's overhead goes to 4 stacks and then she pops a follow-up. This is essentially the same thing, but it goes to 3 stacks and then it should pop a follow-up. And then any HP healed is storing up to 200,000. Okay. And then basically after the 3 stacks, she does a follow-up attack. And then what this does is I don't think it has any turn limitation on it. So it's there for the rest of the fight. However, if a party member dies or falls below 50%, this is going to revive and heal the party. And then I think that's where it takes that stored HP from, and then it goes away. So it's like a one-time, like, oh crap button that you can use. But if you don't use it, it just stays up there and keeps doing the follow-ups, which is really good, right? So let's go ahead and kind of watch that as we go forward. Yeah, let's Echo with Garnet. Let's just blow this fight to oblivion here. Probably shouldn't Echo with Garnet because we're going a little too crazy. I probably just need to pass turn, actually. Because these enemies are going to, like, melt really quick now. Okay, so 12 mil for... Oh, my God. Okay, yeah, we gotta chill. We're doing brave attacks the rest of the way here. So, yeah, you're just going to brave attack. Sorry. Okay, so it's at 3 stacks. So here's Garnet's. Okay, now Aerith should trigger on this one. So, oh, we didn't use the EX yet. We got to do the EX, right? Which is Fury Brand. Yeah, good thing we got that in. So the EX is going to be a party battery scaled on attack. And then it's going to do some HP damage. And it's also going to do a party heal. It's going to do some brave gaining. She gets a buff called Ancient Lineage. She gets an attack up, HP damage up, and then a party attack up, brave gains and HP damage up, overflow stolen up, and overflow gained up. So just a lot of good buffs there. So sure, let's do Fury Brand. And then we should get the follow-up after this. I hope this doesn't kill the enemies, by the way. Yep, and then it's just going to do a normal attack after. Ooh, that's some damage. All right, 20 mil. Okay, there's the follow-up. So you get the occasional laser from the sky. And yeah, it just works like Garnet, right? And you can see we're just storing all that HP and stuff on there. Let's just do brave attacks. We'll give this guy another turn. I want to get Aerith another turn here. We'll just do brave attack here. All right, what I'm going to do with Aerith is we're going to try to like store up the HP. So what happens is let's do let's do the Healing Wind. Yeah, and you see we got a big fat amount of HP stored in, and we just shot a laser off in the dead. So anyways, guys, Aerith is absolutely nutty. Like, she's really good. Everything she's doing as a support character, she's actually got a lot of damage now with those lasers coming through the sky. So the BT is really important because that's how you get the overhead. That's how you get the revive mechanic in there with that. It's how you get those. The follow-ups are what's really impactful because we've seen with Garnet how strong it is when she's dropping those bombs. Well, now Aerith becomes just like another Garnet. And why not run Aerith and Garnet together? And you're just dropping all kinds of things from the sky randomly. And you couple them with like an insane DPS. Or even this team build here. Penelo, Garnet, and Aerith. I think you could get by with this team. So anyways, guys, let me know what y'all think of Aerith. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.